Do you know that in some cases they have botched circumcisions, and sometimes men get left with either not enough skin or just like a little too much skin, and they botch it.
No, that does happen. Yeah, that any medical procedure, shit happens. That I'm not saying that something can't happen. They can cut too much. They can clip something. They can fuck some shit up. I got a buddy who says he ain't got no feeling in his dickhead. He can't nut off a head, or he can't. Yeah, I got
from
friends
being
like that.
circumcised. I wanted to talk about something else. Where this conversation stemmed from. I said that I wanted to go to my homeland of Cuba and find a wife, and everybody automatically was like, "Oh, that's problematic." I'm like, what? It's like, wait.
I don't know about it. It wasn't everybody, okay? I think it's really fucking weird. I don't know about everybody, but go ahead.
But yeah, that it's rapey.
It got some rapey vibes for me.
Yeah, there's like that air of like old white men going to the Philippines to bring back like a Filipino bride or so. Like there's things like that that come to mind with that idea.
Even in the worst, even like let's bring that rich white man, little Taiwanese woman, all right? If those two people make a deal, is it not the same thing as two people getting together and saying, "Hey, I want to be with you and to be with you"? It's just a different type of deal.
It's the power dynamics that Pooch is talking about. You're talking about going to an impoverished country and taking advantage of someone's disadvantage.
But what if they're taking advantage of your money situation? And then that's okay.
It's an equal thing.
I don't know that that's typically the case though, because like you look into a lot of these things because they're adjacent to like human trafficking and sex trafficking. A lot of times that's young women that are forced into these kind of situations because their family's like, "This is your only way out, so we're going to force you to do this." There's services that offer like foreign brides, and those services usually have some shady practices. They're fucking Andrew Tate-esque in the way that they're operating.
I don't find it rapey.
I want one little correction. Doughy mentioned Taiwan, which seems to be a really well-off country. It's not anywhere near like the Philippines or Thailand.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware.
Fine. Just put it out there.
I do think though. I don't find it rapey though that you want to go to Cuba and find a Cuban woman to marry. I do find it odd because it's like you have plenty of Cuban, like full-blooded Cubans here, and you get a notion that people who go overseas to find a wife is usually a money transaction. You like her, but she only with you because of the green card or the visa, and she comes back, and then here's the money and this and that. So it's like, is it really true love? You going over there and finding somebody like
what would you say to all the people that found love in vacation anywhere they go and they're married, they have kids? It happens, right?
I think that's a different situation though. Like that to me, like going and just randomly meeting someone on vacation is different than saying I'm going to go to we all
on vacation ready to fuck.
I know what you're saying, and sure, but that's different than saying I'm going to go over there and bring me back a wife.
Facts.
There's a difference between saying I want to, you know what, I'm going to Spain, I want to hook up with a pretty little Spanish girl, compared to I'm going to go to the Philippines, I'm going to bring me back a wife.
Sounds more noble to me. It's like I'm going to wife somebody that's take care of that woman.
Well, that's because you're a little trad boy, dude. You're a very traditionalist.
I don't know.
It's like when I used to go to DR back in the day a lot, right? Them girls, as soon as you came around them, they were just like, everybody's trying to fuck you. Like, oh, that guy's from New York. Everybody's trying to fuck you. Like, because they're like, you're a meal ticket for them. And it's like, it feels like you're trading, like, for one person, it's a life that they couldn't have if they stay in their country without, exceptional circumstances. For the other person, they're trading like a body that they could fuck. It feels weird is all. Like, can you go to a place and find a person and fall in love with somebody and all of that? Of course that happens. Of course. Nobody's saying that anybody who gets with some, poor person or a foreign person or something, like they're bad people. But yeah, to me, it's the idea that like the intent behind I'm going to go to this place to find a wife feels weird. It feels like you're going to look for a person that's vulnerable that'll latch on to you. Yeah. That way you could get a body to fuck.
Like conquistador vibes. Like, I'm going to take over.
100%. Yeah.
It just has some weird vibes.
I get it.
But I mean, ultimately, I don't really care. I think people are I mean, like for example, my brother, right? He has a wife from the Dominican Republic, right? Culturally, we're both Dominican, right? We're full brothers, but culturally he has stronger ties to that culture than I do. So for him, it was more, it was more important for him to have a woman, a partner that fit with him culturally. It's like, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
But Doughboy is Cuban looking for a Cuban wife.
I'm sorry, what?
Doughboy is Cuban looking for a Cuban wife. So is that not the same?
It's similar, yeah.
It's similar, but like Pooch was saying, like his brother is more in tune with more Dominican culture than like American culture per se, right?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know if Doughy would sees himself as more in tune with Cuban culture than like an American Cuban experience.
Oh, he's way more American.
More American, but I am Cuban.
It just gives me vibes of all these like red pill dudes that are like, you need to go get yourself a non-American wife because they're gonna cook for you, they're gonna clean for you, they're gonna obey your word, and
but this kind of the rhetoric has been around since before Andrew Tate, though.
Sure, I didn't say they invented it. I'm saying it just sounds like that rhetoric. I didn't say they invented this thing.
Yeah, it does sound like the red pill stuff. It sounds like the traditional wife discourse that's going on right now.
You seen all the cowgirl women? I'm gonna steal your man and I'm gonna make him a fried steak turkey.
I need me.
Oh, what is this?
Fried steak turkey.
It's all these cowgirls. These like I don't know. They're like really traditional trad wives. Hashtag trad wives.
Mm-hmm.
Are these like the farmer girls meet? Like how they got Christian
she's
Mingles
like,
and stuff
I
like
ride
that?
a tractor and I'll ride him. And I'm like, yeah. I know how to work a tractor and I'll know how to work him.
I'm not against any of that.
That's odd. What use would I have for someone that can ride a tractor in my life?
Well, aren't you a part of the farmers coalition?
Like, yeah, you're perfect. Right?
No, you just don't got a flag back there for no reason.
I grew up in the country. I like my city boy life now.
Yo,
if you were Dwight Schrute, you would have use for a wife that could ride a tractor. Like the guy owns a farm. I mean, if you're a cowboy, maybe you need yourself a true cowgirl,
Facts. All right, I don't want to derail this, but I got one more. We were talking about genitalia mutilation. Okay? But I find it weird that everyone talks about other countries, but they don't talk about America, where we mutilate little boys' genitalia, baby boys.
There's a lot of dudes that talk about this. Actually, there's a whole movement in America about this.
And I think that it's
I have
real.
a son. I'm not gonna get him circumcised. I think circumcision is evil. You're over there. You're gonna go chop up somebody's genital bits
without their permission,
without their consent. It's all fucked up.
This consent shit is ridiculous. Let me explain
right?
something to you.
You should be able to just chop anybody's bits off when they're young.
So then you shouldn't take your kid to go get shots without his consent. You shouldn't do any of that. Without his consent, don't give him fucking shots.
No, you're not entirely wrong. There are things, right? There are things that you have to do regardless of consent, and you are doing something against their consent because they don't have the ability to consent to something. That is still occurring. Mm-hmm. It's just, why are you doing that thing, right? For what benefit, right? So like, if somebody's gonna get hit by a car and die, I might yank them back, and they didn't consent to be yanked. But what's the cost benefit analysis there? You know what I'm saying?
Tony, if your son decided that he wanted to eat nothing but pudding, he didn't want any other food. Just wanted pudding. Are you going to force him to eat some real food eventually if he's gone like day 3 of only eating like chocolate pudding?
Based off of Pucho's thing, no, I can't. I gotta let him pick his own
based
food.
off Pucho's thing, you would force him to have real food because you're doing it for his benefit.
No, Tony's just loves to be dishonest.
But that's the whole argument with the circumcision thing, though. The circumcision thing is there's not an actual benefit to getting circumcised.
There is.
Is there?
Yes.
There
may
be some minor benefits.
There is benefits to it. It's cleanliness and as my son is circumcised, so like it helps with him keeping his penis head clean and all that. Like if they have that foreskin and they don't keep it clean, you'll get like bumps. You'll get like a bunch of fucking like weird shit on your dickhead that can lead to like medicals, a treatment and shit like that. So people who don't keep up with themselves, even as adults, there's probably guys out there that don't keep up with their cleaning. So it's just like having what?
As a man with foreskin, it's not that difficult. It's just you pull back, you clean, put some soap on your dick. You pull it back forward with a little water. So I was just gonna say,
disagreeing with that.
You go to any country.
Why are you shaking
where
your head no, but saying I agree with?
Because it's obviously I'm agreeing. Like it's not that difficult. I'm just saying like how many people really wash their ass in the shower? How many people really wash their legs in the shower? A lot of people don't do that shit.
Yeah, I think that's your job as a parent to teach your kid how to wash their dick and wash their ass.
And as a
kid, I don't think you should chop the skin off their dick because you're afraid they might not know how to wash.
It's not about being afraid. It's just
let me say something though.
Prevents future fucking
in
problems.
any country.
If you just chop their dick off, they won't even have to worry about washing it. You just solved the whole problem. It'll keep their dick the cleanest. They will never get dirty.
You keep getting foot fungus. We're gonna take off your entire foot
to save your life.
So, let me speak, please. In any country that you see any of this genitalia mutilation, there's always going to be some reason to do it. There's always going to be they're always going to come up with some fucking, oh, it looks better. It's better for the girl's health. They're always going to say something in order to make you feel like there's a reason that this is needed.
I'm sorry. In the United States, they're doing that to women?
No, but I'm saying if you go to different countries,
why is it that he's trying to point out the hypocrisy of why are we so concerned about female genital mutilation? And not to say you shouldn't be concerned, but he's saying why are we so critical of other countries doing things to genitalia when we're not so worried about the things that are happening in our country? He was pointing out that hypocrisy.
Well, there's two. Yeah, well, it's very different, right? Because here ain't nobody clipping clits and lips. It's just from what I know, and I could be wrong. Circumcision only really is basically for boys, like penises. That's the only thing. I've never heard of a woman ever getting clipped or anything getting trimmed, whatever.
Yeah, but nobody made that claim. So what are you even responding to?
Because he's saying how the hypocrisy of them with the females in other countries. What people do shit in other countries ain't really got shit to do with the United States. It's two different worlds.
What he's pointing out is what
fuck you can't compare the two.
Tony, what he's pointing out is Tony, what he's pointing out is in other countries they do these things and they always have reasons, and they're always shitty reasons, but they have reasons. They're like, oh well, females aren't supposed to experience pleasure during sex, that's why we remove their clitoris and shit like that, right?
Yes. There's always going to be some doctor.
And in America, we also have reasonings, like you said. It's like, oh, well, it helps. It makes it easier to clean, so that's why we do it. They're both flimsy reasonings, is what he's saying. It's flimsy reasonings to justify not necessarily good behavior.
And the connection, obviously, what people are doing in America doesn't have any. Sorry, what people are doing outside of America has almost nothing to do with Americans in a lot of cases. But the problem is there'll be Americans with really strong opinions about what they're doing overseas, but not have strong opinions about what they're doing in their country. That's the hypocrisy. Maybe that wasn't clear.
I'm
That's
just
okay,
saying I don't find
You've been
I don't-
rattled ever since Mateo's
I'm not rattled.
camera flashed green.
No,
he
my
started
shit-
doing this.
No, my shit
It was
flashed
an
green.
instant. Get over it. He's like,
My shit flashed. I'm making sure audio and everything's still going, but no.
Did my camera flash green?
Yeah.
Discord's been doing that. When I was recording with the Great Game Debate last weekend, Caden's camera kept flashing green.
But like,
yeah,
what
last week you told me my camera flashed green.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
what I'm saying is that it's to me it's two different arguments because it's like I don't really necessarily
What are the two
care
arguments?
the difference why people care about male circumcision versus the female circumcision. Cause I don't really care.
Nobody made that argument, but
Doe said that there's hypocrisy with why people not saying anything about how
no. He's saying why there's genital mutilation happening overseas and people have really strong opinions about that. And people being Americans have really strong opinions that that stuff is wrong. Why aren't they that concerned about the genital mutilation that's happening here?
because it's the norm and is actually beneficial for the man. Beneficial. There's nothing benefiting the woman other than those sleazy bastards across the seas saying for their own fucking religion purposes or whatever, saying that, oh, they can't feel sexual pleasing or whatever off of it. That's wrong. What's happening to the guys here is,
I mean, have you read into it?
wrong.
Maybe there are benefits though.
I'll look into it. The benefits right now, like just to be clear, is like penile cancer, decreased risk, prevention of penile problems, decreased risk of sexually transmitted infections. That's just for like the male side. I will look up the female side of it and see what's the benefits of doing any of that. But to me,
I don't think
there
there
is
are.
none.
Honestly,
There is none.
I've never
So
I've never
that's
heard of
what
there
I'm-
being any benefits.
yeah, I don't think there's any benefits. Even if they started doing that shit, like for what's the purpose?
Do you know that in some cases they have botched circumcisions, and sometimes men get left with either not enough skin or just like a little too much skin, and they botch it?
No, that does happen. Yeah, that any medical procedure, shit happens. That I'm not saying that something can't happen. They can cut too much. They can clip something. They can fuck some shit up. I got a buddy who says he ain't got no feeling in his dickhead. He can't nut off a head, or he can't fuck. Yeah, I got
from
friends
being
like that.
circumcised. That's a consequence from being circumcised.
If it's done wrong, yes,
this is a common symptom of people who are circumcised.
This is
because
very common.
espe-
Everybody's like, why would you snip your skin off? You're going to lose all the feeling.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. That's what the claim I've heard, at least.
Maybe because that penis head is rubbing all day against skin and boxes,
Niggas
so
be
you get numb
wearing-
to it. You get numb to it versus when your shit's protected, that shit's mad sensitive. Maybe that's just me saying
I'm
the
not
basic
trying to
form
come
of it,
up
but
with some scientific explanation. I'm just saying that there may be some positive aspects. Like it ultimately boils down to you can clean your dick easier if you're circumcised, and because you could clean your dick easier, you're at decreased risk for dirty dick symptoms, right? Like, but does that outweigh like all this other there's negative aspects to it when all it really takes is teach someone how to wash a dick, and then you're not at risk for any of that anyways.
see, look, it's the same thing for women, I guess. I just Googled it right now on my Health of USA or whatever, and they're saying that yes, some women prefer to get their hood of the clitoris clipped because it helps protect against herpes, genital ulcers, and gathering of microbes under the hood of their clit. I've never heard of a woman getting that in USA.
No.
But
I've heard of that from women from Cuba,
really,
because I guess their doctors are a little bit probably you know what I mean. But I have heard of that happening in Cuba.
This sounds like that sounds like the reasoning of like they found that one dentist, that one dentist that doesn't recommend flossing every day.
Yeah.
that's crazy too.
Flossing is bad for you.
But I mean, like, even if there are benefits to it, we could still say it's wrong to do. Like, we don't have to like make believe like something has to be 100% bad to call it bad. Like,
It's like
there may be benefits to a man getting circumcised. I'm still not gonna get my son circumcised. I think it's wrong.
Which is
It's like
perfectly fine.
I think the alternative to getting circumcised is using a little soap and water on your dick. It's like it feels overkill to like imagine somebody's like, oh, I'm so sick of washing my hands all the time. Every time I touch them, I gotta wash them. All right, cool. Let's just chop your hands off. You never gotta worry about washing your hands. It's like that's true. That is a benefit. I don't have to worry about washing my hands. But now I can't do anything that requires hands. Like you know what I mean? Like there's a benefit and a downside. It's okay to acknowledge it.
Bad example there, but yeah.
Why is that a bad example?
Because you need your fucking hands.
You
to
need
fucking
your cock.
do
No,
shit.
there are people with no
You
arms
can
that
still
live
use
happy
your
lives.
cock.
You need a dick.
You can still use your cock with a circumcision or without it. You can still use your cock efficiently and still
Now
get
you're
somebody
homeboy.
pregnant. What are you
Now
talking
that's
about?
Viagra.
You can still get someone pregnant. It's not like it's not a thing. Like versus you losing your hands. Nigga, what the fuck you gonna do without these?
Nobody.
Not gonna do shit.
I'm so exhausted with people that just don't understand hypotheticals.
Those are
It's
just
so
that's a
stupid.
stupid hypothetical. I'm sorry.
It's not stupid at all. It's analogous. It is analogous.
Tony, what if your dentist told you tomorrow, we're just gonna pull all your teeth out? You know what? It 100% reduce the risk of you getting cavities. So we're just gonna pull all your teeth out and give you dentures.
You know, Tony would say it's not the
Fuck
same
it.
because you need your teeth to eat.
That's
and
fine.
It's not the same. You know, if you pull one tooth, you could still eat, but if you pull all the teeth, it's like then Tony's argument is there can't ever be a hypothetical because the only thing that's the same is the same thing, the same exact words. That's the only thing that's the same.
This is how
the
Pucho wins
idea
arguments.
is ridiculous. Like, oh, you can't come up with a hypothetical. You're trying to show there are analogous situations. This is not saying it's the same. It's obviously not the same because if it was the same, I would say the same words.
This is
so
how
you
you
use different words. It's a different example of something that's similar, and it's usually a bigger exaggeration to clearly show you this is the contradiction in this thing, or this is the problem with this thing. That's what a hyperthetical exists for.
Ladies and
you don't have
gentlemen.
to try to keep cutting me off the whole time I'm talking. You can just
I'm
take
waiting.
a second. You can shut the fuck up and wait. You
I'm waiting.
every 4 seconds, just calm down so you can stop talking. Let
Hurry
me
up, bro.
finish. There you go.
This is how this nigga wins arguments, bro. By saying something, because I said this was a stupid ass fucking example. Now that Mateo gave me an actual fucking good example, now think, oh, this is what Tony. Yeah, if you gotta take all my teeth out, go ahead. Give me dentures. I can still chew food. That's no problem. Doesn't stop me from what I want to do. But whatever. Let's move on.
But would you be in favor of that just being like the norm? They're like, all babies from now on, we're gonna pull all their teeth out the second those teeth come in. No more cavities for anyone ever. We're just gonna pull all their teeth out.
No more cavities.
I mean, you're gonna have to wait because they're gonna lose the baby teeth. You gotta wait for the actual other teeth. So I mean,
No, you just yank them twice.
yeah, I mean, you could give them dentures. I'm just saying it's not gonna stop you from. It's not gonna stop you. Like you got things in place that can help you.
Do you think your life is equivalent? Like if you have a mouthful of dentures to having a mouthful of teeth?
No, it's not equivalent. No, but you can still chew. It's not equivalent. It's not.
So then you're saying if I chopped your hands off so you don't have to wash them, but then I gave you like little hook hands, it's like you could still grab things. You're not going to have the same life experience. When you masturbate, you're going to slice your dick to shreds maybe, but maybe you could ejaculate. You know, I'm not stopping. It's a dumb argument.
That's dumb. I wouldn't want fucking a hook. Give me like a prosthetic with like fucking like some type of fingers. Like sure, but whatever. We're getting way past the. I don't even know
Little
where we're at
grabby
right now.
grabbers.
How do you guys feel about them little hands?
That's
Little
disgusting.
hands.
I love the little
I
hands.
hate the little hands. It'll
Is
be
it like-
somebody with a hoodie, a big ass baggy hoodie, and the tiny little hands sticking out of them.
Oh, those little like toy hands that people have.
Yeah,
It's just disgusting.
spooky Christina posted some pictures. She had some little hands. You know, they just make any picture hilarious.
It does look hilarious, but then I'm always thinking like, man, somebody bought little hands.